In preparing for the drawing, we're going to want to make the exploded view in the assembly. So let's go ahead and get into kind of an isometric view where we can see the components. And we've done the feature manager design tree. Property manager switches in and out automatically, semi-automatically, so that you don't really realize that it's moving over there to set the parameters. The third tab is the configuration manager, and that's where we're going to set our configuration. Within this configuration, the exploded view. And what a configuration does in a future video, we're going to take the crank and make this one file all three parts. So the configuration says we have similar geometry. I like to call it elements of commonality, that all of those common geometries we can stretch or shrink to come up with a variety of parts in one part file. So to create the exploded view, we're either going to right click on the configuration and say new exploded view, or if we come up to the command manager, I just saw it and I lost the exploded view, there we go. Let's take a look what's sometimes under the pull down. So not really sure why that one has a pull down, but we'll go with it. New exploded view. Alright, so these are going to be in steps, and we want to kind of think about which geometries are going to move. So if the base is stationary, that's fine. If the coupler is the item that we want to stay stationary, then we can go that route. So I'm going to go ahead and move the coupler. As soon as I click on it, it's going to give me an orbital, and I'm going to move this in Z some distance. All right, and the way these scales work is the further away I am from the scale, it's going to be a coarser measurement, and the closer in, it will go to more decimal places. I'm really not going to waste my time trying to get that to an exact number. All right, we can get it close, make it look good, and I can always come back to that step. And it made it 73. We like round numbers, so if I go to 75 millimeters and then click on done, that positions the first piece. So that's one item. If we rotate this around a little bit so I can see the remaining four, I can pick the two pins, the crank and the follower, and the other two pins, and that all becomes one group. And so right now, if I move it on the orbit in Z, it's going to move as a group. But if I turn on the auto spacing, make sure I'm in the correct one. Maybe because I already moved it. Let's make sure that I'm in that selection. Type in a number just to see it move, and let's turn the auto spacing on. I might have to do that from the beginning. So let's go ahead and delete that one, and I'll just remake the selection and turn the auto space components on drag. I'll make sure that that's checked. And make sure I'm getting all of the pieces. Okay, expand that out so I'm seeing the three. I'm not sure what happened to my selection there. I might have missed. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start dragging. And then the auto spacing, maybe because it's a group. Well, it should be coming out as separation. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we have the chain. I don't have any items in the chain, so let's go with the first one. So autospace is not doing what I expected it to do. Anyway, what it's supposed to do is separate those out. So you're going to have to play with that one and see what it gives you. There's the group. I'm just going to undo through a couple of these and see if I missed a parameter somewhere. Alright, so if I accept it, well, it came out as a group. If I accept it, that gets me out of the exploded view, and I can right-click on the exploded view. Everything's a feature practically, so we can go ahead and edit the feature. I'm just going to go ahead and pull that back out, and maybe we'll try 2 elements and get it to work. Make sure that my selections are okay. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. I'm not sure why it wouldn't do it as a group, but as we drag the slider and then increase our value, and then on the off chance that we can add one, sort of. So we're just going to put a little bit more, and this requires obviously some tinkering to get it to work. So done, and when it works very well. And when I'm not quite sure what I've done with the selection, so we've got a sequence. All right, there we go. Alright, so if it doesn't do what you want it to do initially, we're going to keep trying and try and figure out what I did with the logic. So, done. Alright, so what can we do with the exploded view? By collapse, it's going to bring it back. And this is what's known as pretty much a suppression, that it suppresses. When we explode it, it becomes active, it becomes unsuppressed. And it's just a state that says it either is on or off, basically a toggle in this case. If I animate the collapse, it will show it in the sequence that I created it. And if we explode steps, we're still in the animation control over, so we'll lose those. And then we can animate the explode, and we can record those as to how the parts fit together. Alright, so we'll collapse. If I decide that I also want an explode that is maybe in the up direction, we can do a new exploded view and pick this one, whichever direction we drag. Okay, and that one didn't go very far, so let's go, 40 worked before. And when it's just one, auto spacing doesn't really do anything, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And we'll drag some of those up. And done. And drag those up. Yeah, I don't think I'm making this clear. And done. And then, since I can see that one, we'll drag it off a little ways. And done. Alright, so when I accept it, now I'm going to have an exploded view. I can't have both exploded views at the same time. At least I don't think so. But if I explode that one, it switches over, and then the rollback bar goes above that one. When we collapse, now they're both collapsed and we're back in that state. So it's just a matter of managing. If I wanted different views or to be able to put these into the drawing, now I have a couple of exploded views to work with.